Thank you Petri. Intanto devo dire che è molto interessante, anche perché vedevo Tione qua, particolarmente si illuminavano gli occhi a vedere queste esperienze cooperative del nord Europa. Ovviamente, voglio dire, non abbiamo la pretesa di portare un modello, i modelli sono anche diversi, vanno adattati ai contesti regolamentari, eccetera, però è interessante vedere, anche sulla base di quello che ci diceva, delle statistiche che ci portava questa mattina Eric, sullo sviluppo di fatto, no? Anche in Europa, e sullo sviluppo dei luoghi in cui si è sviluppato di più, probabilmente anche grazie appunto a questo fermento che in alcuni contesti ha consentito poi di sviluppare dal basso queste iniziative, insomma. Quindi sicuramente c'è qualche cosa da imparare. E a questo punto invito Jeannette Waax a raggiungerci, e anche qui l'ottica è probabilmente un po' diversa, è sempre un'ottica di chi ha portato avanti poi un'iniziativa di infrastrutturazione in un contesto, in questo caso nella Svezia, però quello che mi stimolava particolarmente appunto dell'attività che ha svolto Fiber Optics Valley è non solo la parte di infrastrutturazione, ma come lo sviluppo dell'infrastruttura ha consentito di far accrescere e sviluppare un distretto tecnologico, potremmo chiamarlo, attorno a questa iniziativa. Abbiamo trovato, devo dire, molte diciamo, similarità quando ci siamo incontrati qualche mese fa con loro rispetto al contesto trentino, e devo dire che da questo punto di vista, appunto dal punto di vista del modello non solo di business collegato all'infrastrutturazione e a chi poi fornisce servizi su quell'infrastruttura, ma anche su tutte le attività collegate, come un territorio si può sviluppare anche attorno a questi investimenti, credo che la loro esperienza sia molto interessante, e quindi la ringrazio per essere venuta e le cedo ovviamente la parola.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for not speaking your beautiful language. Anyhow, I believe that Italy needs fiber, because now I'm all sweaty from running to the hotel, get my computer, because my presentation was stuck somewhere on the Wi-Fi. So, yes, Italy needs fiber as well. So, my name is Jeannette Waax, and I'm the Business Development Director of Fiber Optic Valley in Sweden. And since I don't know Italian, I don't know exactly what Alessandro said, but I wish to thank Alessandro for being our guest at the FTTH conference this Tuesday, where he held a very much appreciated presentation of the Trentino case. Well, what is then Fiber Optic Valley? Connecting ideas and creating business. That's our payoff. I'd like to show you something of our region. This is Hudiksvall, the center Fiber Optic Valley. It's a small town with 18,000 inhabitants and 38,000 in the municipality. This is where the idea of a regional innovation center was born 10 years ago. Driving forces, they thought that making the region less dependent on traditional industry such as forestry, machinery and hydraulics. And this is, as you can see, a small town with low houses, and on the right picture you see houses where the fishermen used to live in the 1800s. So we are situated in mid-Sweden by the east coast. Sorry. So, several factors were crucial for the choice of fiber as a central theme for the innovation project. Number one is that Ericsson has got its telecom cable factory here in Hudiksvall, starting the production of fiber cables in the 1980s. And the city council early saw a possible development emerging from Ericsson's fiber competence. During the late 90s, a local training center for fiber technicians was started in cooperation between Ericsson and the municipality And the training center was actually became so attractive that companies from all over the country joined these courses. And spin-offs from Ericsson in the form of independent consulting companies had established in the region during the same time. Number 4, the municipality had already in the mid-90s connected official offices and schools with fiber in an intranet, which was the start of the urban broadband network. And number 5, the Acreo Fiber Lab, the only one of its kind in Northern Europe, was established in Hudiksvall in 2001. So there you had at least 5 crucial factors which altogether made a good growing ground. So the grounds for the formation of fiber optic valley was there. Okay, sorry. Have you heard me at all in the beginning? Okay. In 2004, the non-profit Association of Fiber Optic Valley was born. With 20 co-financers, 3 municipalities and several research institutes, they joined and applied to the Swedish Agency for Innovation, Vinnova. This was for a long-term financing program. And Fiber Optic Valley was rewarded as one of Sweden's top 8 innovation clusters, which means funding from Vinnova until 2014. And every 2-year period, we also apply for funding from the European Union for certain projects, such as internationalization, for example. Then, what is innovation? Well, it's not only a new product or service for a demanding market. It's also finding new ways of cooperation, connecting people and ideas that are shared in a dynamic network. Our way of work calls triple helix. It means connecting academia, public sector, and private companies for open innovation. The members of such a network are committed, and they want to contribute with knowledge, money, time, or technology. It's a long-term strategy for business in our region, with Hudiksvall as the starting point, but now covering 2 counties, embracing 400,000 inhabitants, with a lot of similarities to Trentino. And we also have several international spots. It's like the fruits on this picture. All of them are delicious individually, but mixed they enhance each other. So this is our mission. We should make Sweden one of the world leaders in certain sectors of fiber optics. It may sound bold, but we do have some edge-cutting competence in fiber optics in Sweden. We should enable further cooperation between academia, public sector and private companies. We should contribute to the growth of small and medium-sized companies within ICT and sensor technology. We should strengthen our region's position on a local, national and international market. And of course, widen the network. Today we have 30 formalized partners and another 30 which are not formalized but who are in cooperation projects. So this is what we mean by connecting ideas and creating business. And this is done through co-projects with key members such as the research institutes and other cluster organizations, but also by assisting our SME members with business development and marketing activities. Our role is very much to matchmake actors from different sectors. We've seen that cross-pollination is a very effective way to achieve innovation. So, this is the case of the urban network in Hudiksvall. Up till today, 10 million euros are invested in the Hudiksvall urban network, and it's run through the wholly owned public company Fiberstaden. And the customer base today is 37,000 citizens, 17,000 within the Hudiksvall town, and 20,000 within villages that have less or up to 3,000 inhabitants. 17,000 households, 9,000 detached houses, 8,000 flats. and 2,500 companies that are mainly SMEs. Like Trentino, we don't have so many big companies. And the urban network, of course, is an open access network, which means freedom of choice for customers, the end users. Service providers, they compete with price and quality. There is also a setup of service providers with strong brands. And what is important for this town is that we are building on the local brand of Fiberstaden, a strong local emphasis in marketing and sales, which we've seen is the most successful way to get subscribers. The FTTH customers today, well, there are 300 villas or single houses attached to the network, 1,200 detached houses, and 250 companies. And you should note that more than half of the population in the municipality is living outside the town. And this means a challenge to make people in the villages around to actually invest in fiber into the house, because they can get it to the node. But to get it into the house, they need to pay 1,300 euros for the fiber connection. That is digging in man hours, etc. And today many of them are happy with their ADSL connection because it's quite fast. So this is a real challenge. And as one example of innovation solutions, there is a planned build-out in the municipality in a unique project between Ericsson and the Hudiksvall municipality. It's a 7-year project which was signed in 2009. And this 7-year cooperation project means that Ericsson has taken the responsibility for operating the active urban network. And Fiberstaden's role is to build out the fiber infrastructure to 10,000 households and 1,000 company customers within the project period. The vision of this project is to work together for further research and development in Hudiksvall town in FTTH. One of the goals is of course to increase the number of services in the network. And other parties of interest in the project are Fiber Optic Valley and the local public housing enterprise. And from 2011, Fiber Optic Valley will be responsible for the development part in the project. And together with the research institute Acreo and their national testbed, we from Fiber Optic Valley will fulfill our part in the project. The Acreo National Testbed is a true asset for our region, since the fiber line stretches from Stockholm, the capital, directly up to Hudiksvall, which is 300 kilometers north. And here you see the design of the Acreo National Testbed. And the testbed measures end-user behavior, such as traffic peaks on popular applications. Another way is to perform interviews in person with test pilots or via TV-based interactive questionnaires. Broadband access is another object for study. The test pilots are subject to tests of equipment, either in their own homes or in the access network, and services, primarily over the TV but also internet-based. And finally, connectivity. Acreo has many partners, primarily around the Stockholm area, in Hudiksvall and in a nearby university. And typically, partners get access to Acreo's IPTV platform. So, what about innovation? How is innovation involved in the deployment of fiber? Well, I'd like to tell you about the Open Care case. As we heard before from the council, for example, our population is growing older and older, and it's not fun to hear, but it's true. So, Open Care is one of our partner companies in the network, an SME that has been operative for 7 years now. And they have created a concept called Safe Living at Home, with the service sector for elderly as primary target group. And positioning. one service which is highly appreciated by relatives is the positioning of people with dementia. The person to be positioned wears a GPS transmitter. If a pre-programmed safety zone is trespassed, an alarm goes off, sending a map to a certain addressee, for example over the cell phone, showing where the lost person is positioned. And this service, of course, demands great integrity, but is still a valuable aid for the relatives and the person with dementia. Open Care also provides a web-based healthcare center where you can see a presentation of personnel you're going to meet. You can book appointments, renew your prescriptions. You can look at the status of your messages. You can go through the web telequeue, for example, keep your health diary, personal diary, and the option to leave information for your doctor. There is also a document library, a discussion forum, and quality-safe links. The Vivago alarm watch is a safety alarm, replacing traditional equipment. Psychologically, this is a benefit for old, who doesn't want to show everyone they are wearing an alarm. It has one big button, easy to press when help is needed. If the watch is taken off, an alarm goes to the service personnel. Since the watch also censors micro and macro movement of the wearer, it can follow the person's daily rhythm and automatically send off an alarm if something is abnormal. For example, if the wearer has an unexpected fall. It's also possible to integrate external alarms, such as fire or cook stove alarm. So, to conclude, this is the very essence of Fiber Optic Valley. The innovation circle on the water, I'd call it. Starting with the Ericsson factory, continuing with the investment in the urban network in the late 90s. The spin-offs from Ericsson in form of small consultant companies, the establishment of fiber optic education, the founding of Fiber Optic Valley itself, the joint project between Hudiksvall Municipality and Ericsson, business development for innovative companies such as Open Care using the Acreo National Testbed and the urban network to test their services on real end users. New services to be developed in cooperation between public sector, researchers and private companies. So have we from Fiber Optic Valley learned any lessons? Well, number one is that creating an innovation-friendly environment takes time and commitment. I don't think that even Vinnova, when they proposed us for this 10-year financial program, that it was going to take 10 years. It takes time. It takes time to make people have a new mindset. And driving forces, individuals, are very crucial. If you don't have someone who has passion for this, it's not doable. And fiber optic infrastructure cannot stand alone. I mean, even if Sweden we have the most excellent fiber optic networks, doesn't matter. It's what we put in the networks that matters and counts in the long run. And you should not be afraid to see fiber optic networks as a long-term investment, because that's what it is. And look into what the end users want in their daily life. That's when you can actually attract people to subscribe for fiber. So, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jeannette.